Welcome. Thank you for lending an ear to the Voice of the Times for Wednesday, February 16, 2022. Brought to you by Wilkin Depot, the country's leading home improvement and construction supplies retailer. Shop conveniently 24/7 with the Wilkin online store. Just go to shop.wilkin.com.ph. For today's editorial, an admirable record of service. As the Duterte administration winds down its time in office, we believe it is useful to examine the performance of the officials associated with it and the outcomes they have achieved, whether positive for the nation or not. In doing this, however, we would like to focus on those things that have not received as much public attention as the already well-known controversial and contentious issues. Senator Christopher Lawrence Bongo is perhaps a personified example of the distance between top-of-mind public perception and actual output. The longtime assistant and close confidant of President Rodrigo Duterte has been a senator since 2019, but has yet to shed the public perception that he remains the president's trusted sidekick. For this, he may hold himself largely responsible. Senator Go has publicly and unapologetically acknowledged his relationship with the president many times, which we find admirable. True loyalty in politics, particularly in the free-for-all environment of the Philippines, is an exceedingly rare quality. It has had practical benefits for the country as well. Because of his relationship with the president, Senator Go has become a useful liaison between the executive and legislative branches of the government. The Senate, of course, follows its own priorities and not always in the best interest of the country, as we have pointed out many times. But in instances where the Senate has agreed with the president's objectives, Go has helped to smooth the path. Perhaps the best example is the recently enacted law creating the Department of Migrant Workers, signed by the President on December 30. Go was one of the co-authors of the Senate version of the bill, the version that was eventually adopted by the House of Representatives as well. And in doing the work of crafting the bill, was able to turn one of Duterte's key campaign promises to improve conditions for overseas workers into practical action. In typical fashion, Go gave the credit for getting the bill passed to his colleague Senator Joel Villanueva, who chairs the Committee on Labor, Employment, and Human Resource Development, rather than claim it for himself. A review of the Senate's database of legislative work reveals that Go has been busy in many other areas as well. The usual course of legislation in either House of Congress results in bills that list many co-authors in their final form. But many of these begin as measures filed by an individual senator or House representative. Senator Go has filed 50 such bills to date, the most notable of which have been the creation of the Malasakit Centers, which began several years ago as Go's self-funded initiative, the aforementioned Department of Migrant Workers, the Department of Disaster Resilience, which was unfortunately not passed in time before the legislative session expired, the bill to create a Center for Disease Control and Prevention, creation of the Metro Davao Development Authority, and the original bill to extend extra benefits and compensation to health workers during the pandemic. As the closest friend of an extremely popular president, it would have been easy for Senator Go to sit on his hands and do little in the Senate, or to spend most of his time pursuing his favorite advocacy, delivering direct assistance to local communities affected by poverty or calamities such as fires. That is something that is praiseworthy for its own sake and of obvious compassionate benefit to those affected, but nonetheless extraneous to the essential role and responsibilities of a senator of the Republic. However, Senator Go has not only not neglected his larger duties, he has been an example of proper work ethic. Not everyone may agree with his initiatives or perspectives, but he has clearly demonstrated that he is not merely riding Duterte's coattails. If one is to disagree with Senator Go or offer criticism, let it be on his ideas and work, of which he has produced an admirable volume, rather than personality or personal associations. And that's the editorial for Wednesday, February 16, 2022. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print. Subscribe to its digital edition or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. And listen to the Voice of the Times.